Hi, and welcome to the next video in my series on making a responsive website from scratch, including my whole workflow. If you missed last week's video, I would suggest going to check it out because it's the first part of making my whole site responsive. In this part, I'm going to be covering the call to action where I add the little pink triangle things. I'm going to be fixing up the footer, which is really easy to do, and I'm also going to go to the navigation, which I had forgotten about, and I run into some trouble with the Flexbox elements and they're not really working how I expected them to, so that takes a little bit longer than expected, but I think it's a nice learning experience because you see some of the oddities of Flexbox popping up in that. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in this video, so let's jump right into it. So I'm going to go and open up my call to action. I have lots of stuff open right now. Call to action, I had under components. And I'm also going to want more padding on the top and bottom. So let's come in here and do my media query at media min width of 725 pixels. So right away the padding will be like 10M. I need a lot more space. 10M 0. Whoops. 0. I need a lot more space. Cool. Nice. And now I want to bring in those binky things. So those I mentioned will be done with some pseudo stuff. So my and before and my and after. And I can do a lot of it on both of these. So my content for both of them is nothing. My display for both of those will be block. My width I shouldn't have to play with. Let's give them a background color of accent, which is that bright pink. And a position of absolute, which also means that this needs a position of relative. Okie dokie. So that's good to go. Position absolute. Okay, I think that's it. Now let's focus on my before first. So on my before, I want it to start at the top, right? Top. Let's just do top 0, bottom 0, left 50%. I just want to see it to make sure there's something there. There's currently nothing there. Content. Display block is good. Position is absolute. Top, bottom, left. Why don't I see anything then? Let's do my little inspect on here. I should have a before. Top and bottom. If I have a top, bottom, and it has a left, how come I don't see it? Okay, let's take off the left for now then. Yeah, 0. Just for fun, 100%. Oh, okay, it is working. Okay, width, top, bottom. Oh, because I only did a left, I didn't do a right. That's fine. I want to just move it over. Actually, let's just, so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a transform on it. Transform and a skew. Skew. I always forget what X and Y. Let's try this. 45 degrees. That's sort of what I want, but now it's the opposite, right? But it's actually sort of what I want to do. And now I just need to move it over. So I'm going to do a left. Yeah, I want to move it towards the left. So let's just try negative 100%. And it should move over. Ha! Look at that. It's just sort of sliding the whole thing way over to the left. Except this skew is not enough. I want this to be a lot sharper. 75. Oh, too sharp. 60? Hey, we're getting there. I think that actually looks pretty decent. I forgot my border though. Let's go back up to here. Border of 1M solid white. Aha. Okay, so that's good. This line here is my after that I haven't done yet. So let's do my after. I'm going to copy you. I see we're gonna have a little problem, but it'd be easy enough to fix. After. I'm just trying to think now. I just want this, instead of being left, I just want to move that to the right instead. Aha! Awesome. Actually, I'm surprised that worked out so well. So the problem now is I see this big white line here and this big white line here. And that's just the fact that the border is showing up. But luckily, that's going to be easy to fix. So this one, my bottom will actually be -1m. So I know my border thickness is 1m. So I just want to move it down 1. And then this one is the top, -1m. So I'm moving, whoops, I have to have a 1 on there. Of course, that's a little bit of a problem, but we can fix that with a simple overflow hidden. Here we go. Hey, that went much faster and better than I thought it would. Let's just make sure that I don't cover up my text. I'm covering up my text, of course, I'm covering up my text. And if this was, no, that doesn't matter. Okay, good. I'm covering up a lot of my text at one point there, actually. Oh no, I'm still covering up text. Okay, this should have a container in it to hold it because it's going too wide. Call to action. I'm going to do a .container call to action. And close div. And my call to action container. Dot call to action container. What will this do? It will width of like 50%. And this should be in my media query. There we go. Except it's not working. Container call to action, and actually even that should be doubled. What's going on? It's still not working. Container call to action. The only thing I can think of is this is in the wrong spot. It is, because it's... Okay, let's just tab that all the way back. Container... Container. Haha! There we go, that's looking better. So it's being held there, it's turning off. I'm still covering a little bit. There were just way too much there, actually. There's a lot of pink going on there, eh? And then as we get to there, it starts getting better and better. So I just think this, instead of 100, I'm going to move those over even more. 125. -125. And now I moved them over too much. I can barely see. Oh, yeah. They're getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I sort of want that to be the other way around, right? I don't want them to keep getting smaller. But at the small screen size, it's good. That's even worse. Wait. Why, when I had 100%, it was like gone? 100. 100. That's not so bad. Why did that look terrible before to me? It looked like they were getting so small. That's weird. That's perfect, guys. It looks good. It's not overlapping anything. Is it? Is it? No, it never overlaps. Of course, it's jumping back to the top. That looks nice. That looks good. That looks good. And then it just... Aha! Super. That looks awesome. I'm super happy with that. Cool. To build a container into here. So let's jump into my... I really just need to limit, let's say container, container footer. All these containers that I'm doing, I'm putting like this in my footer Sass. My other one is in my call to action. Some people might be cringing at that. They might, you know, they're probably saying that they should be in the base along with the containers. Container, just so all the containers are together. For me, I find it easier to find something for the footer in my footer file, but to each their own. Max width. Before I was doing a max width in pixels, and then I was playing with M's. Let's just say, you know, the 1M is 16 pixels, so 10 is 160, so we're almost at 200. 10, so let's just do like 25M wide. Haha. Yeah, I'm happy with that guess. The only thing I don't get is why my nav isn't in there. Did I not put my nav inside that container? Because honestly, I nailed it. Super duper. Okay, where's my nav? Why is my nav outside of that? Silly Willy. Let's take this closing div and take this, tab that over and close that closing div. Save. Awesome possum. Except I don't like, I gave it that width of 80% originally, and I don't like what that width of 80% is doing. Where did I do that? I did that on my nav. We can just take this right off now. I don't think I need that on there, even for the small screen sizes. Let's just see. No, we don't need that on there because it just stops. It gets to the right spot, it locks in. That background is working exactly how I wanted it to work. Awesome. So happy with that. And I completely forgot my navigation. Crud. I don't like having hamburger menus like that. I'm actually going to worry about my navigation. Let's go and fix the nav. The nav will not, I believe, take too long to do. So let's shrink you back down. Let's go find my nav file. Because I built this with Flexbox, it will be kind of fast. This should have been the first thing I did, but I completely forgot. My nav. Super, UL, that's all good. The main thing I'm going to do here is actually main nav. Where's my display flex? So on here at media, min width of 725 pixels. I want to change my flex direction to row. And to show you what that did, it did nothing apparently. Why does that? I forgot to tab it. There we go. That's what I thought would happen. That was weird. Okay, so it puts them in a row instead of going like that. So first things first, that is awesome. That's done. My background color is on my A's. Background, border bottom, I'm going to turn off. Okay, we got a few things to do here though. My height is auto. Already much better, right guys? Much better, we're getting close. My main nav position will no longer be absolute. At media, min width of 750 pixels, 725. Position initial. It's relative, it's fine. Much better, much better, much better. And it's because they're flexing, so that's shrinking down, but that's okay. We're going to fix that up in a second. Just going through here. My LIs. I'm just trying to think. My main nav. Okay, I need to take a look at this for a second. Main header. They're all in my main header, right? And there's a display block. Oh, because they're in my grid. Yeah. Grid. And then I have my logo. And then my main nav. And my main nav. The absolutes turned off, so that makes sense. So even in here, could I just do a flex of auto? Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So flex of auto will stretch it all the way across. Now I can come in here and say, I'm just going to copy this. I'm using it a lot. My border is none. Cool. My nav toggle display none. And I'm looking for my background color and I can't find it. My hover is going to change to background. Border, is it all the way up here? Background, accent, oops, okay. Background of none. Let's just give it a margin top of 1em. And a margin left of 2em. I just want to get it away from there a little bit. It was a little bit too close to my Appalicious for me. So that looks much better. I'm overthinking it. Text align right. That not work? Why not? Why is it centered? Align items. No. The justify content on my nav A. The justify content on my nav A. Justify content. Justify content. Flex end. Perfection. Super. And let's just see what's happening with my hover now. Is it's gonna give me that weird hover. So my hover is also gonna get changed. So whoop, this should actually be here. My hover will be a background of none and a color. What should I do with my color? Of let's just say darken text inverse by 15%. There we go. Just a nice little simple hover. I don't like that. Let's say my color changes to accent. It's kind of weird actually, that color. I'm gonna lighten that up. Lighten accent by like 50%. 25%. Darken? It's more in line with what I want. Oh, except my padding's weird. Yes it is. I didn't think about that. What's going on? Because they're that weird shape. And oh, actually, undo that then. Flex basis. Flex basis auto. Yeah, because I don't want my A's to be stretched out. So I stopped filming for a little bit there because I was running into that little problem. I wanted to take a mental break. I came back and now everything is there, but it's side scrolling all the way out here. And I'm not quite sure what happened. I don't remember it being like that when I left. So I'm just going to come on my main nav here and give it a background color because what's going on? And of course now, there we go. So a background of, oh no, I can't do it here. Sorry. Background, because I turned off my background none. Let's just change that to pink. And it's all the way out there. Why is it all the way out there? What in the world did I do? Okay, so I figured out what happened, but I'd paused my recording because it was just taking way too long. But I'll show you how I actually found out that, since I do think it's an important thing. So obviously that is an issue. And I was looking through on my inspect element and I couldn't find anything that would put it there. I was turning these on and off and I was going crazy and I really couldn't figure out what was happening. So eventually what I decided to do was go over and look at the computed. And computed is cool because it's going to look at things, or actually before I even got to the computed, I went all the way down and I saw that the position left on there was gigantic. And I never told it to have that position left. So because I saw that huge number here, I went, something has to be wrong. So that's why I went to the computed. And on the computed, it's going to show you everything that has been computed. So you'll see all your user agent styles and stuff like that in here. But I did find that on the left property, I had a value of the 1073.69 here. And I went, that's really weird. And luckily it also tells me where it's coming from. So it's showing on in my CSS line 522, if I wanted to look at my regular CSS file, my main nav has a left of 100%. I didn't look at this. I went, oh yeah, it's because I was having that toggle from being 100% to 0 and go back and forth. So that means all I need to do is make sure, and just to take a look at that, I had my left at 100%. And I think before when I was working, so I'm just going to do a left of 0 and save, and it should fix that. Oh, except I'm in a tab. There we go. I'd open that up. So yeah, now we just saw that slide right back in there, and that takes care of that. Now, what I was talking about before, what I'm trying to do right now is get those to align on the right side instead of the left side of my LIs. And to look at what's happening with the LIs, just so we can get a bit more of an idea, let's give these a border of 1 pixel solid red. So now we can see that I have this big space here, but my text is stuck on the right. I'm actually wondering for this, if I turned off the flex, what would happen? Display inline flex? Inline block. That's interesting because it's keeping the same thing. Oh, my A's are big now. Do I have padding on something? Display inline. There we go. That's a lot better. So I just turned off my flex was causing some issues. I couldn't align it the way I wanted it to, so I went back to making my LIs inline block. So that's going to keep them in the line across the top here. My text align right, and the last thing I had to do is I also have my display flex on my links themselves, so I was just turning that off. If you know a better way of doing that where we could fix all those issues, please do let me know, because I feel like I should have been able to do that with Flexbox, but everything I was trying just wasn't working. So let's turn off that background. Let's get rid of those borders that we don't need anymore. And there we go. This site is finally finished. I have my nice little hover. Everything there is working. I have a border on for my hover there. Buttons. Let's just fix that up. A little housekeeping now right at the end. Buttons, button primary, button. I should also be doing my border color is the same thing. Copy, paste, save. There we go. Just so we don't see that border. So that's cool. Those are working well. This looks nice. Let's make all of this a little bit bigger now just to make sure. Cool. That still looks good. Everything is looking good. My buttons look nice with the hover effect on them. Everything is looking super duper. Awesome possum, guys. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing. Of course, there is another video that is going to be coming out where I am going to quickly look at taking this and putting it live on the internet. I'm going to be doing it with GitHub Pages just because it's super easy to do now that I have this on GitHub. But I'll look quickly at Prepros at just how you could set up an FTP in there if you wanted to use an FTP instead. But the GitHub Pages is a nice way to get websites up and working online as well. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this. The next video will sadly be the last one in this series. I had a lot of fun building this site, so I'm sort of sad to see it go. But I have a lot of really fun things that I do plan on working on in the coming videos. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. If you've liked this video, please let me know. If you have any comments or any better ways of doing anything I've done, please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. If you could do something better, if you have any questions or anything like that, please don't be shy. I try and reply to all my comments. And in the meantime, take it easy until the next video. See you later, guys.